everybody, Walt back again with another product review for you. This time for M-VAVE. This is their 25 key mini keyboard controller with 16 drum pads, 8 controller knobs, and then you've got your Bluetooth and arpeggiator, and you've got a button here to let you do one finger chords, two finger chords, or what have you, which is really neat too. And then you got octave buttons over here, and a LED display window that is actually a little bit of the older style LED with the larger segments, but despite the fact that it uses the older LED, which I'll show you in a minute here, it works just fine. It works great, as a matter of fact. And this unit, overall, right off the bat, just so you'll know, I'm giving this 5 stars. And here's the reason why. Not only is this a nice unit, the keys work real good, good action off of them, not too loose, not too stiff, not a whole lot of little loose wiggle back and forth. Not only do the keys feel good, the pads, silicone rubber, smooth with just a hint of grab, work real good. And these pads, ladies and gentlemen, are accurate. And you'll see that when we fire the unit up and do a little testing. But accuracy on the keyboard, really good accuracy on those drum pads, because stop and think about it logically. Why put 16 pads on here to trigger sounds and to play drums with, and they were lousy? These are really good. I was really delightfully surprised by that. And so, tell you what, without any further ado, let's find out why that 5-star rating holds up in simple real-world test. You've got a control panel back here that has a full-size quarter-inch sustain pedal, and it can also take an expression pedal here as well. So you can plug that in back here on the back panel. USB-C that supplies power and communications for the unit with your computer. And then you have a power switch. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this unit has a built-in battery as well. So you can carry it and use it in a portable situation, and you get several hours of battery life out of it too. So it can work plugged in with your USB, which is what you're going to do anyway, more than likely, but you can go without it. And it does have Bluetooth capabilities. Now, according to the owner's manual, Mac Bluetooth 5.0, the driver for the Mac operating system is supposed to be built in, so you technically should not have to download a driver for it. The Windows version of the Bluetooth driver that'll work with this unit, you might have to use a downloadable driver for it, or it might work right out of the box. You have to experiment with it to find out. But for our demonstration, I always like using a wire, because number one, as long as it's plugged in, you're communicating with your computer and you're getting power. When you got a battery, sometimes when batteries go low, they halfway function, the unit will halfway function because it's getting weak, so it gets sporadic in its functioning. When you use a USB-C cable, you don't have that problem. I always suggest just buy a long USB-C cable or an extension and plug it in. USB 2.0 or 3.0 will work just fine, either one. All right, let's flip the switch. We've got our doot-doot-doot. That's always a good sign. That means that Windows drivers have been loaded, and it is now ready to go. The Bluetooth right here, you can see it's flashing. I'll just hold it down for 2 seconds, and it goes off. No sense in having it on if I'm using the USB-C cable right here. All right, in the window over here, you can see that's the older style display. I hit the Pitch Bend And so it automatically triggers it. But it reads everything. If I hit a pad, it shows me the actual velocity, which can be anywhere from 0 to 128 that I'm striking the pad as far as velocity. It does the same thing. It doesn't do it with the keys, but now it does have other functions that it will do with the keys. But as far as the pads go, it shows the velocity, which is cool. And you also get your controller knobs here. It'll show and display what those are doing as well. So it works really good. And right now it says PR1. I hit the modulation. But right now it says PR1. That means it's in preset 1. There's software that goes along with this because you have to set it up using software in order to program the pads and the knobs. You can even program the pitch bend and the modulation as well. And there's a few other things you can program as well with the key bed, including velocity, sensitivity for the key bed. Now, the key bed on here is 100% 0 to 128 velocity sensitive. So are the pads. But you got 4 curves in here that you can set for the amount of pressure that you usually play with, and velocity, or basically the strength of how hard you hit the keys and the pads with. You can set it. The sensitivity on these keys, especially when you set it for level 1, it's full out. So if you're a real piano player and you doing all those little subtleties and nuances, it'll be here because you can hit the keys so soft you won't hear any sound at all. Same thing goes with the pads. You can set these up so that you can tap so light you won't get anything at all. Or you can go for one of the higher settings, which will boost up the bottom end sensitivity so that you get a nominal strike of around 30 or 40 starting out. And then as you go from level 1 on up to 4, it raises that velocity minimum striking force for you automatically. So really neat. But you can't see the colors of these keys because they're actually different colors. And you can set these pads for any color you want just by using it's like a little graph. I'll show it to you. Now here's something else that's really neat about this unit. This unit, I found when I was testing it, if I fire up the software that goes along with this unit first and then open up my DAW, I can actually hear what I was programming while setting it up in my software, which was really a thumbs up in my book. And I said, wow, I even turned my computer off, disconnected everything, turned everything off, turned it back on and went back in to see if it was a glitch or a mistake. If you open up the software first, make sure you're connected so it sees the software sees this keyboard. Then you open up your DAW. At least with my Mixcraft Pro 9.0, I was able to actually audition sounds and set them up at the same time, which made it really nice. So then that gives you an option of using a MIDI chart or your ears. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We'll activate our software, and it said just for a moment there waiting for connection to the unit. So there's our unit right there, the SMK25 II by M-VAVE. We just click connect, and there we go. This is as large as the window gets for the editor, but it works great. And the cool thing, you know what you can edit by simply moving your mouse over the top of everything, because you can see how everything lights up, goes from a dark gray to a light gray. Even the keys light up. You can actually program the keys. So if I was to hit like the top key, there it is right there. So that's neat. And this is our window here. So if I hit a pad, it brings up the corresponding parameters that you can alter in this little window right here. And like, for instance, if I hit this pad, that same pad I got highlighted, you notice all these numbers that show up over here in letters? Note on in green, note off in red. And then you can clear it. So it actually shows you that you do have activity. If I hit a key on the keyboard, there you go, right there. Notes on and notes off. So that's there as sort of a monitor of your controller activity. But the knobs, all 8 knobs, everything shows up. And down here, here's your preset bank. You get 8 presets that you can set up. Now you saw on the screen, it said PR1 for preset 1, which is what we got right there. But for the sake of our demonstration, I think I will move to preset 3, like that. And the thing about it is, as soon as I hit preset 3 here, it went to preset 3 on the keyboard. Let me show you. See how it says PR3? When you switch to a new preset, so does the unit. Automatically, it's a live feed, which is really cool. All right, back to the editor. Okay, so now we've got our editor back up on the screen. Let me show you, we're on preset 3. Over here, we got the key bed. I can choose my channels, octaves, transpose, which gets you, so I can actually tune it to, say, if I got a singer, I can actually tune this to their vocal range, the key that they usually sing in, which is nice. Minimum velocity, maximum velocity. But down here, in the utility section, I can actually set my pad curves. This is for the velocity. Right now, I got it out on 1. But it goes up to 4. We're leaving on 1 so I can show you the sensitivity range that you've got available. And then we can always pop back and switch as we go along. And then we got our pitch bender steps. Then we got the pad aftertouch, because our pads, if you hold the pads down, they'll work just like a key on a keyboard. As long as you hold the pad down, it'll keep firing whatever the sound is, or loop. And then we've got our pedal port over here. And over here, we've got our single finger chord setups. So we can set for major and minor scales. Pick the note range. And our chords. And you've got triads, sevenths, ninths, and randoms. Really neat. Then we've got our arpeggiator down here with setups, so that we can do global setups, gate times, and octaves, and things like that. We can have latch on, turn this on or off, so that when you hit a key, the arpeggiator will keep playing in a repeat mode and just keep going on. Or if you leave it in the off mode, then you can always just hold the key down for as long as you want. And then we've got our time signatures. Quarter note all the way up to 1/32 triplets. And then our tempo over here. So we've got a lot of cool stuff. And then we've got a pad calibration mode here, which I didn't bother with because the pads work so good. I didn't want to mess around with changing the sensitivity, because I believe that's what that pad calibration mode is for. But let's go on up and start programming these pads in. We're on preset 3. So let me bring up my Mixcraft. And I'll go into my drums. I got that up. Now, you see how you can hear that? I don't like that layout, but we'll just go back to our editor. I can drop that back down. We'll go to our editor and we will change sounds, and there's 2 ways to do it. Right now, the kick drum, right here, is on 36. Well, let's say I want to go 35. I know there's usually 35 and 36 are kick drums. So, that's side stick, because that's a sharp key. And that's something else I like about this. it shows you the MIDI note number here. But it shows you the key here in music notation. So that you know that's a C sharp. But if I go 38, what do we get? That's not going to work. I went the wrong way. No problem. 35. That's what I want. There's 35. There's 36. I think I'll go with that a little bit softer, lower hit right there on 36. But now I'll switch off to the next pad. That's a stick. And of course, I can always go through. And I can select these one at a time and hear them like that. Or, let me bring up and switch over to this one. This fellow right here. Here we go. Bring that up. There we go. Got it all. Acoustic drum, 36, 35, and 36. Acoustic snare is number 38. So, with a simple MIDI drum chart, I can speed things up a lot while still hearing. So, 38. We got 38. Now, I'm going to stop here. I got my kick drum and a snare. You know what? I think I'm going to switch that drum. I think I will go 36. There. Yeah, a little bit more lively. All right. Now, what I'm going to do at this point, I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to go 16. I'm going to go back to my chart because what it is, I think, if I remember correctly, I have 5 tom-toms. There's the low floor one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tom-toms. Ooh, I got 6 of them. So that's the cool thing about having a 16-pad unit. I can literally have every tom-tom available if I want it. And I think I'm going to do that. So the highest tom-tom is what? My chart says number 50 is the highest tom-tom, so we're going to go 50, 48, and 47. So that one's going to be 50. 48. 47. And then that's the first 3. So now we got 50, 48, and 47. Now we want to go 45, 43, and 41. 45, 43, 41. Now let's test it. That works great. So we can actually do that like that. And now let's go back in. Since we're at it, I just get a little hi-hat. All right, let's do a hi-hat. Closed here and open here. So number 1, let's go check our chart. That's the pedal hi-hat. Closed hi-hat right there. 42. And 46. I'm going to go 42 and 46. So, we'll just use our little buttons there and do that. That one's not far off. We'll just click it up. There we go. And we got our hi-hats. That'll be fine for our demonstration. Let me just check. That's got it. Okay, we got those set. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're getting a live audition, but we want to save that. Here's the goofy thing I found about this software, but it is not an aggravation at all. It's just I would call this just a different way of thinking here in most of us Americans, because a lot of this stuff comes from China and Korea. They might be thinking about it a little bit different. For us Americans, when we say save that, we're talking about go to File, Save, and save the file. With this software, it's actually backwards. If I click save, it comes up with save successful, right? We click OK, but where did it save it to? It saved it to the keyboard, the controller. But if I click export, now it comes up as a file. So let me just cheat, and I'll use part of that title. I'll just back it out. And we'll go like this. 3. And I'll just put 4 video. That'll work. Click save. Boom. Export successful. But that's backwards, according to usual American logic. But you know what? The software lets you work with the DAW open so that you can hear what you're doing. I don't care. I am not taking a point off for that. This software works the way I wish all software works. All right, now, remember me talking about the velocity? Now, right now, the velocity of the unit for the keyboard and the drums is set for 1. Now, let me show you what I'm talking about. Notice when I hit the keys on the piano. I'm pressing down super soft. You notice you don't hear anything. There's the piano right there. There's the piano. Like this, even though this is just a synth-weighted keyboard, it's just spring-loaded, but it's still got a nice feel. For you keyboard players out there looking for a little controller and you want that real tactile feel, this will give it to you, because there it is, right there. And same thing goes with the pads. Check it out. I can press on the pad. It's showing me the number in the window. I'm hitting so soft it's only registering around between 11 and 12, 16, 10. But I can go up to 127, 0 to 127. I'm striking, depending on how hard I hit, I'm getting the action that I want. And as you can see, with the aftertouch activated, I can just hit a key and hold it down, and there it is. There's about 30. So velocity on this thing is awesome. So I'm going to go and switch the velocity. All right, let's go over here to our utility section, and we're going to change the pad curve just a little bit. We'll go up 1 there, and we'll take the key curve up 2, and we're going to send it, or save in this case. Save successfully. Now, let's go back to our keyboard and see what kind of action we get on those keys and pads. I'm hitting very soft, just like before. But you notice, you get a little bit of a raise. This might work better for you. Same thing with the pads. I'll switch up to the drums off screen. Notice you get a little bit more of a tink when you hit soft. You get a soft. Or, so the subtlety and the response of this keyboard, I love it. every hit is genuine positive. I love these pads. These bad boys are some of the best pads that I've felt. So far this year, I've only seen a couple of 2 or 3 units that have pads that work this good. And the thing about it is, this controller, most of the controllers that I've checked so far, well, all of them that I've done this year in 2026, they've had pads. You got 8 of them. It cuts off right there. Well, let me see. I'll do that like that. That would be all the pads you would get. 8. This one gives you 16 super sensitive, accurate pads, and the scaling on them is amazing. Let's take the scaling up again. The pressure sensitivity up one more notch. All right, we'll do the keys and the pads. Let's go 3 on both, and we'll send it to it by saving right there. Now we'll switch back. Okay, now I switch back to my piano for the keys. Let's see what kind of sensitivity we get. Easier to max out. And if you're not a super soft player, or you don't play with a lot of nuance, like me, that 3 setting's pretty good because it raises the level up a bit so that you don't have to strike the keys as hard. You get a response, but yet you still get good response. Let's check those pads out. Let me bring my drums up off screen. There we go. I'm barely hitting the pad, and I'm in the 70-80 range. That's nice. I love this response of this keyboard. This thing gets the job done. And you can change the colors on these as well. So I can show you that real quick. So we can actually click on these units right here, all of our buttons, click the color. And you get that same kind of color palette that you would get in your paint programs and your photo editing software. So I'll close this. You can also set all these knobs up here for volume and things like that. So I'll just take number 1, knob number 1, and we'll go CC. Let me bring up my CC chart. And I want volume, which is 007. Let's go back to the editor, and I'm going to go CC 07. There. And it tells me channel volume right there. So that's set. So with that set, I can actually turn the volume up and down on my Mixcraft sounds. All right. Let me get my piano up because that'll give a better. There. Now I got my piano. We'll spin the dial. Always tell people spin the dial once so that the programming for the read will kick in. Notice no piano. There's my piano. I can literally turn it down. Just that easy. And you can go like volume, pan, reverb, whatever you got in your DAW that you want to send to it. You got CC numbers that'll let you do that. So, really nifty. And you notice minus 64, up 63. 127 steps. And if I let it go, it works just like a physical pitch bend wheel would do, because they're always spring loaded, so that when you let it go, it automatically snaps back to 0. Because if you're playing, you don't have time to try to go back and find 0. But by making sure it snaps back to 0, by making it snap back to 0 every time, like a real wheel, you're always in tune. And then modulation. So I can bounce around with the modulation. Really neat. These are very sensitive and they work great too. Let's check out couple more features here. Okay, let's take a quick look at the single finger chord feature here. Hit the button. And you can go into the editor. I'll bring that back up. And right here, you can change from major to minors, ninths, sevenths, triads. Let's try a triad. And then we'll go, let's go with an A. And then we got a major scale. And then we'll send it to the unit. Let's see if that makes a difference. You can hear there's a difference there in the chords. I would say just from verbally, it's in the middle. You can hear those chords in the middle are definitely been altered a bit. So you can use the editing software, set this up for different chords so that you can jam along to. I actually set it up yesterday with a jazz chord and it worked pretty good. So, another option. All right. Let's check out the arpeggiator real quick. Now, according to the manual, which is true, there's not a lot of information in the book about it. It's very scant as far as details about the arpeggiator and how to use it. So you're going to have to experiment. But one thing's for sure, you hold down the arpeggiator button. Now, if I hold down this arpeggiator button and spin this dial. Now it says up for a second on the screen. You probably didn't see it. My finger was blocking, but notice how I place a low note first. Hold down this button. Now it's got down. Notice it plays a high note first. Go back in. It's got an NCL. Just for the sake of making it a little easier, let's see if we can latch it. Let's see if we can turn on the latch right here. And it says it's on. All right. Now, let's hold down the button and change the octave. In 4 steps. per bar. 4 triplets. Eighth notes. Eighth note triplet. And we goes all the way up to 32 note triplets. So, and then when you turn the harp off, it'll stop it. Let's see if we can do a chord. And now turn the latch back off. There. So the arpeggiator works pretty good. And then along here, you can see all that writing. That also gives you the ability to manipulate the various sounds in here. I mean, the various characteristics of the arpeggiator. Plus, you've also got them in your editor, too. So, this is a really nifty unit. It does everything the way it's supposed to. This is a 5-star unit. I love this thing. M-VAVE, this is a nice one. And so I don't think you should really have any hesitation. You've seen the video. If it looks like it's going to get the job done for you, great. Configuration's super simple, and since you can hear it, it's 100% tactile, and you're programming at the same time. This is a 5-star thumbs up unit. The M-VAVE, or M-VAVE, SMK25 Mark II. Sweet unit, great price, 5 stars once again. See you later.